The JRDA playoff tournament here live in good old Austin, Texas. It is a playoff tournament here for the Rose City. I'm starting off great today. We got the Rose City Rosebuds playing up against 1-5, so feisty. 177, Havoc. 220, Nicotine Kills. 314, Elbow Bell. 321, Spitfire. 327, Scooby Doom. 408, Zodiggity. 46, Donna Dang RS. 503, Scar. Fair in height. Ooh, I love that. Number 46, Monarch Mayhem. Number 511, Anarchy. Number 59, Cannibal Corpse. Number 73, Spring Wheel Jack. And number 9, Wind. And we're just getting set up for the first jam here. The derby clock has wound down, so we're just waiting for that first jam to get started as we start with the first bout of this tournament. Our refs and NSOs are lining up and getting ready. And the whistle that says lineup has been blown. Looks like we've got number 12, approaching the pack again. This is a very fast pack as Strawberry Short Fuse breaks through again. 4 more points on the board for Strawberry Short Fuse. Rowdy is already standing, getting ready to join the pack once more. And Rowdy is back on that track. A penalty whistle is blown. And it looks like we have a Space City Slammer blocker going to the box. Both jammers out of the pack and on scoring passes. Rowdy is right on the heels of Strawberry Short Fuse. Breaking through the pack, 4 points on the board for Strawberry Short Fuse, as well as Rowdy. Rowdy is in front and approaching the pack first. Strawberry Short Fuse still holds the lead jammer status. 13 seconds left in the jam. Strawberry continuing to rack those points up on the board. So far, this is a 24-point jam, and the jam is called as it reaches its 2-minute conclusion. In that first jam of the game, we have 24 points for Rose City and 9 for the Space City Slammers. What a jam for Strawberry Short Fuse. Lining up on the jam line now for the Space City Slammers, we have number 235 Radioactive up against our lead jammer on the Rose City, which is going to be number 64, and that is why can't I find their name? Adriel on Wheels. There we go. They're at the bottom of my list. Adriel on Wheels is the lead jammer for Rose City, breaking through the pack for another scoring pass. But not to be outdone, Space City Radioactive is continuing to score points as well. Radioactive going up against an extremely strong wall of skaters on the Rose City team, but breaks through the pack. 4 more points on the board. Both teams have scored 12 points each in this jam. Evenly matched, these jammers are fighting up against very strong walls as well as they both approach the pack. Oh, big hits there by the Space City team. And there was a cut track called on the pivot from the blue team, and the blue pivot goes to the box. Meanwhile, Rose City jammer just skates straight through that box. Adriel on Wheels slides through on the inside line, while Radioactive gets hit out on the outside line and is recycled back to the back of the pack. 4 more points for Adriel on Wheels. And the jam is called. I usually eat the mic. Next up on the jam line, we have Violet jamming up against Wind. Violet for Rose City and Wind for Space City. Both cities. I just realized that we have Space City and Rose City out there. And once again, Rose City is your lead jammer, and we have it's Vi actually. Looks like number 7 goes by Vi instead of Violet. So Wind is still fighting through in the back of the pack. Strong wall by the Rose City team as the pack separates, and there is no pack giving Wind the chance to try and get through, but the pack reforms before Wind is able to break through and get out of the pack. Wind has taken off the helmet cover, hoping to possibly pass the helmet cover, but the pivot has not approached Wind just yet. They have not been able to do a successful star pass, or have they? Nope, not yet. Wind still has that helmet cover. And Vi is just racking up those points going around that track, but Vi is skating very close to that inside line. Space City doing a good job keeping Vi in the pack. And Vi is out of the pack for 4 more points on the board. Wind is still fighting. through the pack, but Space City looks like they may have been called on. Yes, a direction call. So that means it may be easier there for Vi to get through the pack. One blocker down. Wind is still fighting through that pack. The pivot for the Space City has now captured that helmet cover. So the pivot for Space City is going to be the active jammer. And it looks like that might be Anarchy. Yes, Anarchy is now our active jammer for Space City. And Anarchy is out of the pack. Jammer for Space City. Once the helmet cover is on, they were not able to approach the pack and put that helmet cover on. But if Anarchy had reached the pack, points would have been scored for that pass. That was 24-0 point jam in that last one. Right now we're sitting at 79-28. And we're 4 jams in, it looks like. Right now on the jam line, we have number 408, which is the zip code I grew up in. So Diggity for Rose City, your lead jammer, up against Fahrenheit, which is one of my favorite books, Fahrenheit 451. So I'm just loving the two jammer names, fighting their way in a jammer race around the track. Oh, Fahrenheit goes down on the apex. That must be a slippery apex. Rose City has a blocker going to the box. Hopefully that'll help Space City Fahrenheit get through the pack with one blocker down. We have a star stash, as we call it, because the helmet cover has been pulled off, but Fahrenheit does retain possession of that helmet cover for now. We'll see if the helmet cover is passed. The pivot still is without the helmet cover, so we're still in the midst of a star stash instead of a star pass. And meanwhile, Zoe Diggity is racking up the points on the board. Fahrenheit is still fighting through, and it looks like we do have a star pass. Radioactive is now your active jammer, fighting through to get through on the initial pass through the pack. Radioactive is now going up against the extremely hard to pass offense from the Rose City pack. And it looks like we have a back block that was called on Space City. So now they are skating one blocker down. Oh, 2 blockers down, making it a lot easier for Zoe Diggity to get through that pack and a lot harder for Space City. If you are joining me on the live stream, please comment in the chat. I can see you. Tell me where you're joining me from. And tell me who you're rooting for. We got Hot Sauce jamming on the jam line. Love it. For Space City, up against Strawberry Short Fuse for Rose City. And right out in front, right away, we have Strawberry Short Fuse jamming for Rose City. Hot Sauce is in the back of the pack. Immediate star pass to number 511. 511 on the Space City team is going to be Anarchy. Anarchy is now the active jammer, fighting through the pack at the back of the pack. Rose City, again, extremely hard to get through their offense there at the back of the pack. Penalty whistle called. And it looks like Anarchy will go to the box as the jammer. Oh, it looks like we have Havoc's mom and brother here, viewing from Fort Worth. Go Rose City. Hello to Havoc's mom and brother. Thank you for joining us on the stream today. Right now we have Strawberry Short Fuse skating unopposed in a power jam as Anarchy sits in the box. And we have a direction penalty that was called on Rose City. And Anarchy is back on the track, still fighting through on the initial pass. So we'll see if Strawberry Short Fuse continues the jam or calls the jam. And we have a roadblock called on Space City. And Anarchy is out and on a scoring pass. So we'll see if Strawberry Short Fuse calls the jam or lets Anarchy score some points. It looks like Anarchy will score at least a point or two. Let's see how many opposing blockers Anarchy passes before the whistle blows. Whistle blows at the 2-minute mark. And it looks like we have 3 points for Space City in that jam. And 28 for Rose City. With right now, after the 5th jam, just under 18 minutes left and a half, we are at 145, triple digits for Rose City to 33 for Space City. Are we still doing good on sound? Okay, good. Yes. And we have Adrielle. I'm gonna call that skater Adri because I can't do the whole name. Up against Radioactive in the back of the pack, while Adri is sent to the penalty box. And now we have a power jam for Radioactive. If they can get through that pack, they will be skating unopposed. And since Adri was the lead jammer, there will be a full 2-minute jam called on a Rose City skater. That means that there is one less blocker for Radioactive to skate against. Hopefully that's going to help Radioactive get through that pack. Oh, Radioactive has taken off the helmet cover. And Fahrenheit has that helmet cover, but Fahrenheit was hit out to the inside line. Fahrenheit fights through, gets through on a scoring pass, and Fahrenheit dropped the pivot helmet cover. We're good. As long as the star is on, we can continue play, and points will be scored. Because we're in a full 2-minute jam, there is no stopping this 2-minute jam, so it's anybody's game. Oh my goodness, right there on the outside line. Great job by Rose City, just pushing Fahrenheit out on that outside line. Adri getting all those points, just pushing through on the inside line. While Fahrenheit just fights through, trying to find any place to get through that pack. And there's a direction penalty called right at the whistle on Space City. And we have a team timeout called on the Space City Slammers. And let's take a look. I am sure I have lots of people I can talk about that have contributed to this tournament this weekend. Again, if you are watching from home, please let me know who you are, who you're rooting for, and where you're watching from so I can give you a shout out. I am watching you. I have the live stream up. Again, thank you to Havoc's family for tuning in and watching today. We have 2 full days of this tournament here. We're going to have this one bout today that we're already doing here, and then we have Ad Astra versus Texas that should begin right around 3 p.m. today, and that'll be our second game of the day. Lining up on the jam line, we have Vi jamming against Fahrenheit. Team timeout has ended, and now we have Fahrenheit and Vi duking it out for lead jammer status, and Vi gets that lead jammer status. Coming around that apex, going through on that apex there, and getting 4 more points. I love it when they do those little dancing on the apex, little twisty turns to get through on that inside line. Fahrenheit still fighting strong in the back of the pack, trying to get through. Space City doing a great job of standing strong up against those walls that Rose City are building. We have a star stash in progress. Pivot for Space City is aware that the star has been removed, and that Space City pivot is going for it. Cinderella knows that helmet cover is meant for. There we go. Cinderella has the helmet cover. The star pass is complete. And Cinderella is now jamming for Space City. And pivot for Rose City is now going to the box. Hopefully that's going to help Cinderella get through that pack of Rose City. We also have Space City doing their best to break up that wall that Rose City is so successfully building so Cinderella can get through the pack so they can put some points on that board. 3 seconds left in the jam, and the jam reaches its natural conclusion before Cinderella can break through the pack. Oh my goodness, we have somebody watching all the way from Anchorage, Alaska for the Rosebuds. Thank you, Kevin and Paula, for joining us on the stream this afternoon. Rosebuds, you've got fans all the way in Alaska. That's amazing. How do you know the Rosebuds all the way in Alaska? Zoe Diggity up against Rowdy on the jam line. Zoe Diggity out in front as your lead jammer. Just over 12 minutes left in this half. Oh, we have hand holding as we go through the pack. Back block is called on the Rose City pivot. And Havoc returns to the box. Uh-oh. Havoc's mom just saw that. I hope you know what you just did, Havoc. Uh-oh. On the jammer for Space City goes to the box, which means that Zoe Diggity is skating unopposed in a power jam. Havoc standing in the penalty box. And it looks like we have another Space City blocker going to the box as the Space City jammer, Rowdy, is standing. And Rowdy's returning to the pack. Oh my goodness, Zoe Diggity just jumping over that apex. Beautiful, beautiful apex jump. Not easy to execute. Always beautiful when it happens. Those are my favorite. So impressive. Hot sauce right there, ready for a star pass should it be necessary. But Rowdy is fighting through at the front of the pack. And Rose City is just making sure that no one gets through. Another little apex jump there on turn 1 by Zoe Diggity. And Zoe Diggity takes it the full 2 minutes. I just want to know how they're going to have energy for the second half if they take it the full 2 minutes every single time. That was a 36-point jam there by Zoe Diggity. That is incredible. Incredible. 36 points. So far, I think that might be the highest point jam of the game. We have Strawberry Short Fuse jamming up against Wind. Strawberry Short Fuse is your lead jammer for this jam. And Wind is being pulled back to the back of the pack and is called on a penalty. So Strawberry Short Fuse is skating unopposed in a power jam. I see you, Saul. Yes, let's go Rosebuds. Great game to everyone. I agree on the great game to everyone. These skaters are skating extremely well and extremely hard out there. It is incredible the strength and resilience that goes into this game. And Fahrenheit fighting up in the front, trying to keep back Strawberry Short Fuse. Slows down Strawberry Short Fuse, but Strawberry does get through the pack and puts 4 more points on the board and is coming back around already for another scoring pass. And great pack work up at the front of the pack, but here comes Havoc breaking it up so Strawberry Short Fuse can get through and score 4 more points. Well, hello there, Elbow Bell's grandmother. Thank you for joining us from Portland. How's the weather out there? Hopefully it's much better than here in Texas where it's humid. But thankfully it's nice in here, nice and air conditioned, so these skaters are not overheated. Here we go. Wind is back on the track with a star stash. Let's see if they can successfully complete a star pass. Pivot for Space City was ready for it, but the star pass was not completed. 16 points on, 20 points on the board for the Rosebuds. 241 to 39, and we haven't even had 10 jams in this half. That's pretty incredible. Alrighty, and we've got Anarchy up against Adri Hell on Wheels. Adri is out in front as your lead jammer as Anarchy is recycled to the back of the pack by the Rosebuds. We go down in the back, and we've got Hot Sauce pivot for Space City trying to break up the Rosebuds as Anarchy tries to get through that wall of Rosebuds. They seem to be a thorn in Anarchy's side at the moment. And Adri Hell on Wheels just goes through that pack. And it looks like we have a successful star pass to Hot Sauce. Oh, nope, that was not successful at all. Anarchy had to take the helmet cover back. Hot Sauce did not get that helmet cover legally. They had to drop the helmet cover. Anarchy has to try again. And the Rosebuds are doing everything they can to make sure that star pass never completes. Meanwhile, Adri Hell on Wheels is just racking up those points. Hot Sauce now has possession of that helmet cover. Jammer status has been granted to Hot Sauce, and the star pass is complete. And Havoc has been caught, I see. Yep, you saw that penalty. Havoc knows what they did. I'm sure you'll be having a conversation with them when Havoc gets home, right? And Lucy, I'm very jealous of your weather. I'll have to come visit after this cast. And let's see, how many points did Adri Hell on Wheels put up this time? Looks like that is a cool 32 points for the Rosebuds. We're at 273 to 39 with just over 5 minutes left in the half. Skaters gathered on the pivot line. Radioactive and Vi going to the front of that pack. Vi is out as your lead jammer. Radioactive fighting through that pack. Space City is trying to help their jammer. They are working so hard as the Havoc. You are just gonna get in so much trouble when you get home. Havoc's back in that box. And Radioactive is on the way to the box as well, while Vi puts more points on the board. And Vi gets hit out on the inside line by Fahrenheit. Slows Vi down just a little bit, but 4 more points are put on the board. Havoc back on the track, full pack for the Rosebuds. Jammer standing, and Radioactive is back on the track, jamming back on the track, trying to get through still on that initial pass for Space City. 30 seconds left in Jam 11. Vi is most likely going to take this to the full 2 minutes again. And I think that's Havoc. Is that Havoc coming back to the box? No, not Havoc. Okay, I lied. Havoc, only 2 penalties per game. I mean, in reality, you can get 6 and then 7 is when you have to leave. But apparently for Havoc only gets 2 and that's it. And don't worry, I was lying. It's not Havoc in the box at the moment. At the moment, it is so feisty. I mistook them. So right now, Havoc is only sitting at 2 penalties. So don't ground Havoc just yet. Do I have any Space City fans out there? Anyone rooting for Rowdy in the Space City? Rowdy is out of the pack. I'm sure Rowdy has some fans out there that Rowdy can hear you as Rowdy chases our lead jammer from the Rosebuds, Zoe Diggity. I'm not jinxing Havoc. Havoc's family is putting the jinx on them. Zoe Diggity coming around that track. 4 points on the board again. Rowdy on a scoring pass. Oh, stepping over skaters, hitting it out to the inside line. And, oh no, called on a cut track penalty. 3 people to the box. We got the jammer for Space City and then 2 blockers for one for each team. Oh no, and then another blocker for Space City. This is a penalty full jam. And Rose City still going around. We got Zoe Diggity putting those points on the board as the clock winds down. And Rowdy is back on the track, trying to get points on the board before the end of the jam. Zoe Diggity bringing that jam down to the wire. Rowdy is waiting to enter the track at the right time. And pivot for the Space City Slammers goes to the box. Rowdy is fighting through at the back of the pack, and Zoe Diggity comes through on the inside line at the end of that jam. And we're going to see another 36-point jam. We are at triple digits in the 300s for the Rose City Rollers. And the clock winds down. Is there enough time for one more jam? Oh, we have an official review from the Rosebuds. Looks like they're going to use it as a timeout. When they do that, when they call that official review right before the jam clock winds down, that means we will get one more jam in this half. The clock was going to run down and run out before the end of the half, but due to the strategic call of that official review as a timeout, we are going to get one more jam in this half. So one more chance to put some points on the board before that halftime commences. These skaters are excited to skate. That's my favorite part about JRDA roller derby is the excitement and the passion you see in the skaters on the track. Whistle has been blown. We're starting with our jammer from Space City in the box and the jammer from Rose City skating unopposed. Let's see if lead jammer status is awarded during the power jam portion of this jam. Strawberry Short Fuse is awarded lead jammer, and Rowdy will start in the box. Just a little bit left on Rowdy's penalty. We are now running on jam time. The period clock has run out. So we'll either stop at the 2-minute mark or when the jam is called, but we've only had 13 jams in this entire half, so it's not likely that they're going to call this jam. We'll see, though. They've been fans of the 2-minute jam this whole time. Rowdy back on the track. Let's see how many points they can both put on the board before the jam ends. Both jammers on the track. It's likely that Strawberry Short Fuse will wait and see if Rowdy is able to get through the initial pass to score those points, or if Strawberry Short Fuse is unable to break through that wall, which is very strong right now, the jam might be called for that reason. Sounds like we have a cut track penalty call. So it's and the pivot for Space City goes to the box as Strawberry Short Fuse gets out of the pack. 4 points on the board. Rowdy working through on the outside line, sneaks through the middle, out on the initial pass, coming around for a scoring pass now, and we have a jammer race. Is Strawberry Short Fuse going to allow those points to get on the board? Looks like it. Strawberry Short Fuse gets through the pack. Rowdy is now on a scoring pass. Let's see how many points are put on the board during this scoring pass before the jam ends. And it looks like there was a track cut called at the end of the jam, so a skater will be starting in the box. And points were scored at the end of the jam. And it looks like that is going to be the half. We'll be back in about 15 minutes. As it stands now, score is going to be 358-47 in favor of the Rosebuds from Rose City. So thank you so much for tuning in. Come back in about 14 minutes now for more roller derby action all the way from Austin, Texas. welcome back. Just over 2 minutes before we begin again. I got your penalty board up there. Looks like we unfortunately have a foul out after the first half. Rowdy is going to watch the rest of the game with the fans and spectators. So Space City is going to be skating one skater down. We hate to see that, but the rest of the team seems to be doing pretty good on penalties. Anarchy's got a little bit of a higher count than the others, but we're still at 4, so we're doing okay. The max you can get is 7. On the 7th penalty, that's when you're going to get removed from the game. As you can see, we're seeing a lot of track cuts. Track cuts are kind of the ones that are coming through the most, as well as direction of gameplay. Direction of gameplay means that you're skating the wrong direction when you hit. You can only hit people going in a counterclockwise direction. So those are the two that we're seeing the most from Space City. Give me just a moment. We'll pull up Rose City here. Over in Rose City, we have a significantly smaller amount of penalties. So most that we're seeing is on Havoc. Again, Havoc will be having a conversation with their family when they get home. Havoc's family has been active in the stream here talking about penalties that have been assessed and what's going to happen. So 3 penalties. Havoc's limit was 2. So apparently Havoc is now in trouble, but that's okay. Hopefully there won't be any more. Other than that, it looks like there's just a lot of forearms that have been called on Rose City. So anything, when you hit with anything below the elbow, you're going to get a forearm call. You can't be using your arms, you can't be using your arms, hands, etc. to hit people. And if you hit them and they lose their position on the track, that's when you're going to get a penalty for that. If you accidentally touch them, that's not a forearm. But if you are using your hands or your arm and they lose their position, then you're going to get a forearm call. So right now, the Space City is definitely in more danger of losing skaters, but anything can happen in the next 30 minutes. Hopefully we don't see any more penalties or any of the skaters that are close to that 7 mark get any more penalties. All in all, the skaters are playing clean. I think it's just more of a oopsies that are getting called. No one's doing it on purpose, and that's always a good thing. These two teams are skating well. So it looks like we have Fahrenheit, who's going to take over for Rowdy. Whenever a skater is unfortunately fouled out, they are replaced by another skater, and this time Fahrenheit's going to take that spot. So Fahrenheit will be starting as the jammer, and they will serve that first penalty of the second half. We are going to start off again the second half, 358 to 47 in favor of the Rose City Rollers, or Rose City Rosebuds or Rollers. I've got 2 conflicting opinions. The scoreboard says Rosebuds or Rollers, and everything else says Rosebuds. So
Rose City Rollers is the league.
Oh, Rose City Rollers is the league, and Rosebuds is the name of the team. Thank you so much, Impact, my friend that is helping me over here. I've also got Rogue helping me over here. They are the AV team, and they're amazing. They were giving me the overlay and helping me when I had the mic too close to my mouth, so you guys were like, please stop. Yeah, Impact was over here like, you need to quit. So they're a good team. What does that mean?
When you get into the red, it means it will clip your voice. You'll sound like a robot.
What do I need to do to not do that?
Just softer or further away?
Okay. All right. So now I've learned that I need to keep the mic further away. I learned to, because I've worked with less nice equipment, to eat the mic, as they say. So I always have it too close to my mouth. Anyway, jammer standing for the Space City team, and that's Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit is released. Meanwhile,
Adri Hell on Wheels, lead jammer for the Rose City Rosebuds, is out and has already scored 8 points. Fahrenheit is out and on a scoring pass. Oh, big hit and a rollover. No call is called. Okay. So it looks like there was going to be a penalty for a second, but the referee said, no, actually, we're not going to call a penalty on that. I think that, oh, nice apex jump. Nicely done by Fahrenheit. Very impressive. Very, very impressive. Penalty called on Space City. And it looks like we have a forearm called. Like we discussed, if you hit with your forearm, elbow, hands, etc., you're gonna get put in the penalty box. Oh! Space City tried to stop Adri Hell on Wheels, but Adri Hell on Wheels just kept going. Like, it was like Space City wasn't there. And that's the end of the jam. Space City got some points on the board in that jam. Nicely done. 28 to 8 points in that jam. Very well done by both jammers. Fahrenheit's a fun jammer to watch. That apex jump was very nice. Oh, and it looks like I haven't answered that question, Abby. It looks like Space City is from Magnolia, Texas. So another homegrown team out here in Texas. And it looks like we have a pivot helmet cover that was thrown onto the track. Nice catch by Cinderella. That was impressive. Those things are hard to catch at the best of times, but under pressure even more so. And Crime Scene Extreme jamming for the Space City Slammers. This is Crime Scene's first time at jamming, I believe, if I am not mistaken. And we have a Rose City roller in the penalty box. And it looks like we have a direction penalty called on Space City. Oh, okay. Space City is from Conroe. So not quite Magnolia. Okay. Still Texas, but not Magnolia. We were looking it up. Sorry about that. But yes, still a Texas team. I actually know a lot of people from Conroe, so you would think I would know that. So that's an announcer error right there. Meanwhile, we have Vi jamming as lead jammer for Rose City, and Cinderella is now the jammer of record for Space City with a successful star pass done. Cinderella fighting up against that Rose City wall there, calling for the pack to help get through that extremely strong wall by Rose City. Cinderella fighting with those helmet covers. Not easy. Also, at the same time, trying to find a way to get through the pack. And instead, Cinderella said, look, maybe we should just try and stop by. I'm not getting through the pack. Let's go ahead and try some offensive work here. And Vi is hit out of the pack at the very end of the jam. So that was a good strategy there by Space City. And Vi hits the new top of the points for one jam with 39 points for Rose City. That's the highest scoring jam we've had so far for this game. And we have Cannibal Corpse, another new jammer for this game, and Zoe Diggity jamming on the jam line. And Zoe Diggity is lead jammer for Rose City. And it looks like we have a multiplayer called on Anarchy, who will go to the box for Space City. Multiplayer is going to be when you create an unpenetrable wall that no one can get through, basically. Oh, Space City throws their other player into Zoe Diggity to slow down Zoe Diggity's path through the pack. It works a little bit. I mean, there was some slowing down, but Zoe Diggity is still gutting through that pack. Fahrenheit does take a successful star pass, so we have Fahrenheit as the jammer of record. And it looks like our Space City fans have joined us in the chat, so thank you for joining us on the stream this afternoon. We got fans from both sides of the track, so that's always fun. Fahrenheit is out of the pack and on a scoring pass. Jammer race around the track. Oh, Fahrenheit attempted a apex jump but was hit out as the apex jump was in progress. So having to reset to the back of the pack is always a bummer, but it looked pretty up until the hit. What just happened? Oh no, Zoe Diggity is going to sit in the penalty box. I missed the penalty. And Zoe Diggity is in the box. So Fahrenheit is now jamming unopposed for at least the next 11 seconds. Let's see how many points Space City is going to gain during this power jam for Space City. And that's the end of the jam. Rose City is on it. I'm sitting next to the penalty box and they're yelling out how many seconds they have left so that their teams can plan for it, because Rose City has 2 people in the box. So they're communicating even from afar. Wind is lining up on the jam line, hoping to get through. Oh, but Zoe Diggity breaks through as the lead jammer before Wind can even blink, unfortunately. And even if you start in the penalty box, you are still eligible for lead jammer. The only time you cannot be lead jammer is if you get a penalty during the jam. And a direction penalty called on the white team. And it looks like, jumping through on the apex there by Zoe Diggity. Wind still trying to get through that pack. And Radioactive trying to help block Zoe Diggity, but also looking to see if a star pass is going to happen. Oh, goodness. And Radioactive is going to go to the box, so a star pass is not possible at this point. But depending on when Radioactive is released, it could still happen. And we have a direction penalty called. And this time it is also on Space City. So Space City, very nice apex jump by Zoe Diggity. These skaters are not afraid to jump and go through and slide and do things that adults would probably never attempt in their dizziest daydreams. I know I wouldn't, but I'm also a lot heavier than a junior skater. I feel like if I tried to do that, the floor would shake when I inevitably fell and broke something. So I will not be jumping apexes, but I will fangirl all over the place when they do. Another scoring 36-point jam. We are now in the 400s for Rose City Rollers, 484 to 57. And it looks like we're starting with a power jam. Radioactive is in the box up against Strawberry Short Fuse. Strawberry Short Fuse is going to be your lead jammer. Those of you here rooting for Space City, who is your favorite skater? Do you have a favorite? Are you related to a skater? Why are you here? No, just kidding. I'm just kidding. We're all here for Derby, obviously. And it looks like we have a penalty on Space City. Radioactive still fighting through on their initial pass. And Strawberry Short Fuse gets 4 more points. Radioactive is a very strong jammer, not afraid to punch through those walls, legally, of course, trying to get through and score as many points as possible. But Rose City is just so strong with those walls. Space City has a huge job to do because they're trying to help out their jammer, but also keep back the extremely strong jammers from Rose City. Oh, nice job there by Space City at the front of the pack. But a note pack is called, and so Strawberry Short Fuse is released by the blockers from Space City. Oh, nice hit on the outside line by Fahrenheit. But Strawberry Short Fuse, there we go, was able to reset quickly. Very nice, Mackenzie. Cannibal Corpse is your cousin. Well, you can tell Cannibal I like their name. That is a fun name. And the jam is called. I bet you also enjoyed watching Cannibal Corpse jam in that one jam. Oh, speaking of Cannibal Corpse, look who is on the jam line, Mackenzie. We have Cannibal Corpse jamming for Space City, so you could not have chosen a better time to speak up about your familial connection there. Up against Adri Hell on Wheels. And jam is on. Cannibal Corpse starts out with a hit on Adri Hell on Wheels. Adri Hell on Wheels is lead jammer, while Cannibal Corpse is just slamming through that pack, trying to find a hole to get through, to try and get through on a scoring pass. Rose City sees what Cannibal Corpse is doing and meets it. Blocking on the outside line. Cannibal Corpse refuses to be hit outside. Even if the blockers on Rose City pushes back, Cannibal Corpse says, I am going to stay inside this track. Push all you will. And we have a track cut called on Adri Hell on Wheels. So this will be a 2-minute jam. If Cannibal Corpse can get through on this initial pass, there is an opportunity to score points. And it looks like we do have a star pass. So Crime Scene Extreme is now your jammer for Space City. Let's see if Crime Scene can make it through that pack and get some points on the board during this power jam. Adri is back on the track and jumps through that pack, slides through on the inside line. Crime Scene looking for a place to break through that wall. And Crime Scene is just looking for any opportunity to get through that pack. Doing an amazing job. It looks exhausting out there trying to go up against the opposition that is being created by the Rose City Rosebuds. And that's the end of the jam. Timeout being called by the Rose City Rosebuds. Hello, Abby. You're cheering for Rose City. Vi is your junior coach. That's awesome. That's amazing. Not only is Vi a skater here in Austin today, Vi is also a coach. I always love it when we have skaters that also take on a role of coaching and giving back to other skaters as well. So awesome! I'm glad that you get to watch your coach succeed and give their all on the track. So awesome. Our scores as we are heading into the seventh jam of the second half, just over 15 minutes left on the clock, is going to be 5:33 to 57. And speaking of Vi, Abby, there's Vi on the jam line, jamming for Rose City, up against Wind. I wish we had a shoe cam here at this tournament because there are some sparkly shoes out there and I want them. I wonder if they're 6.5. I might be able to steal them. Although I do have my own sparkly Converse on, so there's that. But enough about my shoes. Nobody cares about my shoes. We would care about Derby. And Violet goes jumping through the pack. 4 more points on the board. Wind is trying to find every spot to get through that pack. Pulled back to the back of the pack. Scar not giving Wind an opportunity. Wind is up at the front, hit out by Scar in the inside line. And a track cut, it looks like, called on Wind. Wind takes it takes every opportunity to get right into that box. Wastes no time. That's the thing. A lot of skaters will just coast into the box, and it's like, no, your time does not start until you sit down in that box. So get there. And we have Wind standing. There goes Vi. And Wind is back on the track as Vi puts 4 more points on the board. Wind is fighting hard to get through that pack. So much power in this skater. Space City keeping the pack together, going to help their jammer while Violet is coming around the track using the opportunity. Oh, nice job there in the front by Fahrenheit. At least getting Vi to slow down a little bit. Ooh, and Fizzgig is also your junior coach. We got some coaches on the Rosebuds, it sounds like. I announced for a very big junior league here in San Antonio, where I live. Sounds like Rose City has a pretty large junior league as well. That's exciting. I love it. On the jam line, we've got Radioactive. I said that really weird. Radioactive up against So Diggity. So Diggity is your lead jammer. And here comes Zo Diggity. And Space City slowing down Zo Diggity a little bit as Zo Diggity breaks through. Again, I will always love Zo Diggity's number because I grew up in the 408 area code. In fact, I never got rid of my 408 number. I haven't lived there since I was 18 years old. You don't need to know how old I am now, but I still have my 408 area code number. I wonder how many points Zo Diggity put on the board of this 581. Jumping through on the inside line. Oh, look at Zo Diggity. Zo Diggity is so excited about that apex jump. Oh my goodness. Zo Diggity just took out the Space City Slammers like bowling pins there. From my vantage point, I cannot see Radioactive in that pack. There is a pack of officials in my way, as they should be, because I'm the announcer, not an official. But as I tell my officials back at home, we are not made of glass, so we can't stand in front of each other. But these officials are doing their job. So here come the skaters around the apex, so I can see them again, which is good. Oh, Zo Diggity breaking through that pack, and it looks like Radioactive is still fighting through, and hit out on the outside line. And the jam reaches its natural conclusion. I really don't know how they're doing all these 2-minute jams. I would absolutely collapse and die. And woo-wee, yes, I agree. I absolutely agree. We've got Wind and Strawberry Short Fuse again up on the jam line. Wind is just trying to take out Strawberry Short Fuse, and actually Wind was doing some pretty good strategy there. Try to go with Strawberry Short Fuse through the pack, but Strawberry Short Fuse got through and became lead jammer. And I am a NSO, and I'm short, so the jam refs can literally point a flea jammer over my head. That is how short I am when they're on skates, so that's always fun. They just skate right over my head. It's great. So I feel you on that, Anna. 4 more points put on the board by a Strawberry Short Fuse. Wind ever resilient, trying to blow through that pack. Working through in the back, trying the inside line, pivot for Space City, trying to help out Wind get through that pack. The pack seems to be creeping ever back around the track, and they're kind of meeting Strawberry Short Fuse, so that Strawberry has less and less that that before they meet the pack. And it looks like we have a penalty called on the Rosebud Rollers, or the Rose City Rollers. Now I'm just making up names. But when even skating up against 3 of them, it's still very hard to get through that pack. And Strawberry Short Fuse breaks the record and has now put 40 points on the board in one jam. So that looks like that's going to be the highest scoring jam now with 40 points. And we are at 645 to 57. And we have a timeout called by Rose City Rollers. Oh no, Space City Slammers, sorry. My bad. Reverse that. I hope everyone is having an excellent Pride Month. I know we are here in I'm not in San Antonio right now. I'm in Austin. Where am I? Who am I? I don't know. I'm having an identity crisis on the mic. It's fine. Everything's fine. I actually have that pin on my vest. Everything's fine.
Oh, I thought you were going to say identity crisis.
Oh, no. I don't have an identity crisis pin, but I really should. If you're a part of Derby, which you all are now, whether or not you skate or if you're just a spectator, you know that we have crazy vests full of pins and patches, and I am one of those people.
Yeah, so Space City hasn't scored in 6 jams.
So it looks like Space City has been scoreless for the last 6 jams. Let's see what Radioactive can do in this upcoming jam. I have faith in Space City. I see good things for Radioactive. Thank you. like it's a good floor to skate on. I'm kind of jealous. And Adri Hell on Wheels up against Radioactive. Nice. Oh, and I told you. Good. I saw good things for Radioactive. Radioactive gets lead jammer and scores points for the Space City Slammers. What did I tell you? I had good visions for Radioactive. I'm not just psycho, I am psychic as well. And the penalties are going off around us. 3 skaters in the box, 2 for Rose City and 1 for Space City. And Radioactive says, nope, I'm not doing this for 2 minutes. I'm calling the jam. But it looks like we do have an official review. Is it an official review or a timeout? I think we're using it as a timeout. And was that the first lead jammer for, I think that may have been the first lead jammer status for our Space City Slammers. Either way, I'm excited for them. I think that was a great move by Radioactive. Yep, that was the first one. Yeah. See, I told you guys, I'm not just psycho, I'm psychic. I told y'all Radioactive is going to have a good jam.
Yeah, Texas Roller Girls doesn't track stuff through here, so I never get to use the overlays.
Yeah, so as you can see, the star is lead jammer. So good job, everybody. Great. This is a great game. Looks like we're going to have a new jammer also on the line after this timeout. Rumble is jamming for Space City. Got some fresh wheels on the line up against Vi. I love it when there's some fun competition and the jammers are smiling at each other as they line up on the jam line. No bad blood on this track, only fun. Rumble is going through that pack. Vi gets lead jammer status. Rumble is watching. The pack is pulling Rumble back, but Rumble is wisely watching. You don't have to just go all the way back. You wait until they come to you. Cut track called on Space City. Rumble back in the pack. And Violet does some twisty turns on the inside line. Rumble fighting through in the back of the pack. Vi does a skippy skip on the inside line. 4 more points on the board. And Fahrenheit is released from the box, while Rumble is blocked or hit out on the outside line. Rumble is very, very careful and strategic as the pack is lining up. But Rumble doesn't just jump back in. Rumble makes sure to wait for the right opportunity. And the opportunity may be here. Vi has gone to the box. We are in a power jam. Will Rumble get out? Will Rumble pass the helmet cover? We are now 2. We are a blocker down and a jammer down for Rose City. Cinderella trying to help Rumble get through the pack. And the jam is called. Christian says last 7 minutes, let's go Rosebuds. It's down to 5 now. Sorry, I didn't say it soon enough, but I love seeing all these fans from all over cheering for their teams. Thank you guys so much for joining us in the stream today. I know that the skaters can feel it. An official timeout has been called. That means the officials are having a timeout. As an official, I can officially tell you that what we do right now is we stand around and we talk about everyone. we just kind of chit chat, you know. We talk about people, spill the tea, gossip. We're not actually doing anything related to the game. You know, we would never do anything responsible during these official timeouts. It's all about fun. I'm just kidding. It's all game related. Sometimes, mostly. I look watch these skaters. Can you see them? Can you see how much fun they're having? I love it. There's nothing like fun derby. And it looks like our head ref is calling for us to get on with it. Less than 5 minutes left in this game. 676 points for Rose City to 61 for Space City. Radioactive up against So Diggity on the jam line. So Diggity breaks through the pack. Radioactive, ever the strong one, trying to get through. It's a 2-1 there in the back of the pack. And Radioactive is fighting. Oh, and gets hit out on the outside line. Getting pulled back to the back of the pack as So Diggity comes around. And Radioactive goes to the box for a track cut. And you can see So Diggity doing the power jam signal. Yes, there is a power jam signal. It's where they put their fists in the air and do a double fist pump. That means power jam. Here they come around the track. A little hoppity hop on the inside line there at the apex. No ziggity, no doubt. Points are being scored as So Diggity comes around the track, jumping all over that apex. And it looks like we may have a foul out again on this one on Space City. Not 100%. It could also come down to an official review as well. It's not over till it's over, but I do see Radioactive stepping to the side of the box. So we shall see at the end of this jam what happens there. But when the jammer doesn't return to the track, or any skater for that matter, it means that they most likely are not returning to the game. So Diggity continues the jam, less than 10 seconds left. And yes, Jawbreaker, I don't know that I've ever called a game that's over 700 points. And timeout is called by Rose City. And we're going to find out what's going on with Radioactive here. And it does look like we do have a foul out. Unfortunately, again, these things happen. It happens to the best players in Derby. And in junior roller derby, you don't just go off to the seats and be a spectator. You actually have to go to your designated representative or designated parent, I guess it is. It's not necessarily your parent, right? Because there's only like 5 parents that can travel with these teams, if that. But there's a designated person that takes care of whomever had to leave the bout. So I thought that was interesting when I first learned that. I guess it's so they don't run amok after the penalties have caused them to leave the game. You know, amok. So we're going into the almost last 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes left in the game. Cinderella, first time on the jam line, is jamming for Space City. And Strawberry Short Fuse is jamming for the Rose City Rollers and is out in front as lead jammer. We have a penalty on Rose City. Yes, Ann Lacey, thank you. Designated chaperone. It could be also a designated person of interest. We could call them a lot of things. I love hearing the coaches yelling from the sidelines. It's the only time you're going to get a junior skater to listen to you, and sometimes not at all. I hear a penalty whistle, and it was on a Space City skater. So now Space City is skating a blocker down as Rose City gains their blocker back. Cinderella still working at the back of the pack. That just proves, honestly, no matter who you are, this team, Rose City, is just very strong at building walls. I think they've played Minecraft. They know how to build a wall. And we had, that could have been a cut track. I don't think they noticed that there was a blocker back in the back when the Rose City Jammer came back in, but I also could be completely and utterly wrong. There could have been a Rose City skater that went out with, there could have been a Space City skater that went out with the Rose City Jammer, and that's how I could have been completely and utterly wrong.
If they go,
Yeah.
if they try and draw them back too far and they call how to play in back,
Yeah.
then you don't have to really on them.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah. They weren't out of play, but there was a Space City person with the Jammer over here.
And who didn't go back?
The Jammer, the Rose City Jammer. But I think no, it was a Rose City. Yeah, I think Space City went out with them. Yeah. And this looks like, yes, it will be the last jam of the game. Cannibal Corpse is jamming up against Vi. I thought I heard Vi say I'm done earlier, but I guess Vi wants to do one more jam. And Cannibal Corpse is skating so hard. Fahrenheit is trying to help Cannibal Corpse. I would not want to skate against Rose City. It looks so exhausting. We have a star stash. Did it become a star pass? I'm watching. Fahrenheit is back in the box. And nope, almost became a star pass, but it's not. There, the pivot. There we go. Now the pivot's in bounds. Pivot's got to be in bounds to pass that helmet cover. And now Wind has the helmet cover. Wind is now your jammer of record in this final jam. Vi keeps going around and around and around. Wind is looking for every opportunity to get through that pack. Fahrenheit back on the track. Cannibal Corpse is trying to break up that pack of Rose City. The blockers have to do double duty. They have to help their jammer, but they also have to keep the other jammer back. So Derby is a very, very hard sport. There's a lot that goes on. And that is the game, possibly. We got to wait 30 seconds to blow that final whistle in case any official reviews are called by either team. And I know that Space City at least has an official review left. So we wait those 30 seconds for that final rolling whistle, and then we'll know the official score. I think that this is probably the highest scoring bout I've ever called, possibly ever seen. And that's the whistle. And yes, I would agree. Rose City's defense is very strong, which is probably why their score today is 784 to 61. That is 784 points for Rose City Rollers. And I believe our highest scoring jam of the day was 40 points. And I want to say it was Vi, maybe? Let's see.
40 points.
Yeah, 40 points was the highest. I can't see who it was though. It was either Vi or Adriel on wheels, but either way, this game was amazing. So they're gonna take their victory lap here in a minute, I think. And it looks like we lost 3 skaters on Space City today, so that made it very hard for them, I'm sure. But they skated their hearts out. I am so impressed by every skater on this track today. Amazing, amazing game. Absolutely stunning. Both teams, just wonderful job. I'm Trouble Clef. I want to thank you so much for watching and listening on the stream today. And we'll be back here in about 25 minutes for our next game, which is going to be Ad Astra versus Texas. So stick around. About 3 o'clock, we're going to have Ad Astra versus Texas.